And I hope all of you are familiar with Collab and how to work with Collab. So if you are not familiar, I will quickly show you in a minute what is Collab. So if you type collab.research.google.com, you will get a front end something like this. So this is a collaboratory front end. So what happens is that when you connect, you get a virtual machine somewhere in the cloud, which has most of the packages related to machine learning pre-installed. So you have a zero configuration start for your work. You don't have to worry about setting up your machine with required packages, libraries, and things like that. So once you connect, you get that virtual machine. And when you get that virtual machine, once you get that virtual machine, what you see here is a web front end. And Collab is very interesting because you can write documentation as well as write code. So there are concepts of two types of cells. One is called code cell, where you can write code. So let's say I say print hello world, and you can execute it. You can either press this play button or type shift control shift enter. Okay, so this is a code cell. Then there is text cell. You can write some documentation like this. This is my first experience with Collab, right? And you can, there are, you can make this bold. You can apply various styles on your writing. And basically this is in the language called markdown. So if you write a markdown here, so for example, I can type in equation, LaTeX equation, y is equal to w1 w0 plus w0 plus w1 x1. So you can see that this particular thing got converted into a nice looking mathematical equation, right? So this is written in markdown format or specifically in LaTeX format, which is also included in markdown. Or you can have a list here. You can say the following is the list. I can write list of items, list item 1, item 2. I can also have sub items here, sub item 1, sub item 2, and so on. Plus you can add pictures, you can add links, there are various things that you can do with this text cell, which is quite rich because, as you're writing, you can also explain what is the, what program you're writing, right? So if you go to this Collab, right, by default, the file that opens up, it has got bunch of tutorials. There is overview of collaboratory. There is a markdown guide. You should, check these things out. Okay. Then, today we are going to talk about introduction to pandas. And by the way, there is a very nice material about pandas here. There is a collab on pandas, so you can also check that out. So this is a super quick tutorial on pandas. So you can also check this out if you're interested. Yeah, so there are a bunch of useful tutorials. Whatever is relevant, go through them. No need to go through all of them, but you can see some of the interesting tutorials here. For example, there is a voice swapping tutorial, so you can see that this is a tutorial on swapping voices, and you can see the code, right? There are some code cells, then there are some text cells where there is some useful description about what's happening. Yeah, so over the time in this course, you will be writing some such nice collabs, and Colab is our preferred interface. So there is an open source version of Colab which is called Jupyter Notebooks, which has got equivalent functionalities like Colab. If you feel like using Jupyter Notebooks, feel free to use them as well. Okay. All right, I'll quickly take questions because we talked a bit about Colab now. Okay. Okay, is everybody able to see the screen now? All right. Is everyone able to see Colab? Okay. All right. Great. So perfect. So we'll move forward and we'll go to Pandas now. Okay. So what I have done is, yes, yes, Sushmita. Go ahead. Go ahead with your question.
I think so. It was a mistake.
All right. No worries. Okay. So what I have done here is I have also created a collaboratory or collab this class, and what I will be doing is I will be walking you through some of the pandas functionality through this collab. Okay, so I have filled in initial part of the collab, and rest of the collab is pretty much empty, and we'll be filling it up as we progress in this session. Okay, so pandas, it's important to note that is a column-oriented data analysis API. Okay, so information is stored column-wise in pandas. And Pandas is a great tool for handling and analyzing the data. And there are many machine learning frameworks that support Pandas data structure as input. That's why it's important to understand how Pandas work. Right? So this is, again, not a comprehensive introduction to Pandas because Pandas is a huge library. So for a complete reference, I would request you to refer to Pandas doc site. I will show you that particular page as well. So this is Pandas documentation. So you can, there are user guides, there are getting started guides, there are so many useful references here. So feel free to refer to this. But what I will do in this class is I will cover basic functionalities of Pandas that will be useful for you to get started with Pandas, and also give you a glimpse of what are machine learning specific functionalities that are of our interest. Okay. So first of all, before we start, we need to import the library. You know that because all of you know about Pandas. And since Pandas is a library, I'm going to put it in a different font. So let's import Pandas. So you can import Pandas as import Pandas as PD. So I'm using this short form, so it's easier for me to later refer to these Pandas libraries. I will refer to it PD. And I can simply print the version of the Panda library. So currently, this collaboratory has Pandas version 1.5.3 included. It may happen that Colab is using slightly older version of Pandas, but whatever we are going to cover here will be applicable for the newer versions as well. Okay. Pandas is implemented with two data structures mainly. One is DataFrame. DataFrame, you can think of it as a relational table with rows and columns. And second data structure is series, right? Series is a single column, and that column has a name. So each row in Pandas is labeled via an index. So that could be an integer index, or we might label that row with any other textual identifier. That is fine. And a data frame consists of one or more series, and there is a name for each series. Okay. And data frame is commonly used for abstraction for data manipulation. So let's straight away, look at a pandas data frame. And for that, what I will do is I will use a data set from a sklearn library, and that data set is basically diabetes data set. And the way we can import this diabetes data set is we have load underscore diabetes class in sklearn.datasets module. So we will simply say from sklearn.datasets import load underscore diabetes, and we can simply call this load underscore diabetes with asTrim equal to true as an argument. And when you say asTrim equal to true, this particular function returns us a data set which is stored in form of a data frame. If you set this to false, we basically get a bunch object. And since we are interested in talking about pandas data frame or pandas, I have set this as underscore frame equal to true. Okay. We have covered this particular method in detail in sklearn dataset, so we will not be spending a lot of time on this particular code cell. Just understand that we are going to load one of the pre-built dataset in sklearn for us to understand how pandas and the data frame works in general. So now what I will do is I will run this. You can see that we have diabetes data, which is of type data frame. So what we'll do is we'll say that df is equal to diabetes data. Okay. Now this is one way in which you can load data in data frame. There are many other ways in which you can construct data frames, which might be useful for you in several other cases. So we'll see one more way of creating a data frame. Okay. So this time what we'll do is we will do it from maybe series. Okay. So give me a minute. So we create a series, for example. So we say, so let's write a title, creating pandas data frame from series. So let's say we have cities and population. So we say pd dot series. Let's say we put names of some of the cities. Let's say Mumbai, Bangalore, Chennai. And let's say we want to also store populations of these things. Population. I'm going to make up some numbers. I don't know exactly the populations of these cities. Or we can ask Google just to see, just to make it real. Okay, it is 17 million. Wow. Chennai is 6 million. And Bangalore is 13 million. Wow. Okay, so we say 17 million, 13 million, and 6 million. So what we have done is we have created two series objects. One is for cities and second is for population. And now we are going to construct a data frame from these two series objects. So what we'll do is we'll say pd dot data frame, and then we have a dictionary. We create a dictionary, and we can use keys, right? Dictionary keys. For key city, we store cities series, and for the key population, we store the population series. Okay. And we'll see whether this works. Okay, so you can see that we have created a data frame. Let's give it a name. City info data frame. And you can get type of city info data frame. You can see that this is Pandas data frame. You can simply print this city info data frame. Yeah, so you can see that there are 3 entries here in the cities and 3 entries in the population. And you can see that there is one-to-one correspondence. The first entry in the population series is assigned to the first city, second to the second city, and so on. So you can also do this. Let's say I have 4th city as Delhi, but I don't know its population. So I can still use this. But for Delhi, we'll get not a number or not available, right? The one, because we have not entered anything here, so it assigned an n here. Got it? So this is another way in which you can create a data frame. So there are many methods that are supported in Pandas, where you can read CSV files, you can read text files, you can read JSON files, you can read Excel files, and you can create data frame directly. Getting it? Any questions now on the data frame creation part? Any questions?
No, sir.
All right. So that was about how you can create the data frames. Okay. Now let's say you read such kind of data frames and you want to really know what is there in these data frames. So we'll go back to our diabetes data set and we'll explore the data in that. Okay. Yes, Narasimha Murthy, you have a question?
Yeah. So you mentioned that we can load data from files and
Correct.
different ways, right?
Yeah.
If I have a very large file, let's say 4-5 GB file,
Mhm.
then will DataFrame be able to handle it, or it depends on the memory on the machine? In the machine?
Memory on the machine is definitely one of the important parameter here.
Okay.
Data frames can handle large amount of data, provided you have memory available on the machine.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you for the question. Ajay Gupta.
Hello, hi. I would like to ask, like, why did we even create data frames? Weren't series or dictionaries good enough?
That's a good question. So you can always work with series and dictionaries. That's not a problem. but then you will have to implement a lot more functionality that DataFrames or Pandas has already created. So because of this DataFrame, so a lot of machine learning algorithms that are already implemented use DataFrame as input to their algorithms. So that's why it's important for us to study DataFrames and
All right,
understand
thank you.
them. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And that's a good point. So we can also spend some time on this. So if you use Pandas data frames, right, your code will be lean. You don't have to write a lot of code to execute the same functionality, right? So that's another reason why we are interested in studying this. That's a good question. Thank you very much. Okay, so let's try to understand explore data in Pandas.